Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Bianca, and today I am joined by two donkeys. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, never mind. Introduce yourselves to the world.
Hi guys, I'm Joash. I'm from the Sunway CVC department. We are corporate venture capital arm for the Sunway Group here in Malaysia. So we primarily do investments from Pre-A to Series B startups.
Hello everyone, this is donkey number 2, also known as Brendan. I'm part of Subway iLabs, where we are a corporate venture builder and early stage venture capital, I guess we can call it.
Yeah, but to be honest, joke's on me lah, because these two people are actually really smart. In fact, Brendan's from Cambridge actually. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today is to give everyone a good rough idea of the key differences between venture capital as well as corporate venture capital or the early stage ones like venture building or corporate accelerators. So maybe let's just get started with Brendan and then moving on to Joash, because Brendan, you're more on early stages.
Right.
Can you just give us a bit of a roundup? Yeah, what is the key differences or what do you guys actually do?
For those who don't know, I'm part of Subway iLabs. The I in that stands for innovation. The idea of a corporate venture builder, corporate accelerator, is to get essentially outsource your innovation to whoever's doing the innovation in the market. Because if you imagine having an in-house R&D team can be quite expensive. So the idea here is, there's a lot of people out there building solutions. Let's just see what they're doing and see what works and take what we can from them. Or take what we can from that.
Okay. But if you think about it, so it does make sense from a company's perspective to, in this case, Sunway, the big Malaysian conglomerate, to do that. But in what occasions where it would be incentivizing for startups to actually come to, conglomerates and Sunway?
So I would say the difference here is, we'll call it a strategic partner. We're not like a pure play VC where it's money, advice, and maybe some connections here and there. We are first and foremost connected to a corporate, and the idea here is we give you connections, yes, but more than that, we give you direct access to what we call a living lab, almost a playground where you test and validate your ideas. You can, because there's this huge, all these businesses that we are connected to that you can just go ahead and adopt.
So you're basically trying to say that it's not just purely for financial gains, that's why a company may venture outwards, aka it's just a strategic move. But how do you actually strike a balance between making money at the end of the day, which is ultimately the goal of most corporations, versus being strategic? So I guess in the long term, you become much more innovative.
So to be clear, are you asking the balance from the end of the investor or the investee?
I would say investor. Why would iLabs be relevant when a lot of times it tends to be quite loss-making from the start as a unit?
Yeah. That very much comes down to the actual goals of the CVC. CVCs as a concept aren't exactly new. If you look at all the big tech firms, they have some form of CVC attached, and each one has their own motive. So if you take analog devices as an example, like back in I think the 1900s, analog devices, their CVC portfolio was almost entirely loss-making.
Okay.
But the reason for that was because they were investing in new methods of making chips, right? That was not what analog was doing. So what happened, what panned out was that this new method didn't actually work out, but because of that, analog share price went up. So even though it was loss-making, the sort of learning they got from that actually saved them a lot of time. On the other hand, you have some people like say, so Apple is an example. Your VC, your CVC invests in all the people building apps for the Apple App Store. That means now you've built a huge community of apps, which means your app store actually has value.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, where do you strike the balance between strategic and financial? Well, firstly, it comes down to the actual goals of the CVC. Secondly, it's dependent on the deal, like the actual startups themselves. Of course, we don't want to invest in any random startup, like even if there may be strategic alignment, there has to be some financial due diligence. But I would say the main difference that we have is we are not as focused on just the financial aspects, but we are also a lot more focused on the strategic aspects.
Okay. Speaking about examples, right? Where does this salad come from? It seems to be one of your portfolio company's products.
Presumably it came from the ground, it went to the kitchen. But yes, so the idea here and why Bianca has so kindly offered to lug this plate of salad up 2 floors is because it's giving us a case. The salad came from a connected venture built to our portfolio, where we were looking to utilize a lot of underutilized office space, because as a property developer, developer, we do have an abundance of space. How do you maximize the space when it's not being used? Well, someone threw out the idea, why don't we use it to grow vegetables, indoor farming, vertical farming, if you're familiar with that. And that's where the concept for this venture build came from, and that's where this bowl of vegetables came from as well. One of those farms.
I see. Is it delicious, Joash? You want to try?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take on.
Go for it. Okay, so having said that, that is one of iLab's key products. Like, can I actually say that this company is one of the maybe trophy child in your lab?
It's definitely a case where a corporate can come together to build something new, something innovative, and actually see some degree of success. Quite some degree of success.
Yeah, so in this case, Sunway is a property development company. They somehow find a way to use underutilized space, especially in city centers, to build an indoor farming venture. Now let's just shift gears to Joash. What makes a later stage CVC relevant in this context, especially considering that you already have an early stage, like under Brendan's care?
I have to say that I guess when it comes to Sunway CVC, we are also actually under the portfolio of the iLabs department and division as a whole. So what we actually are formulated, I think, after the iLabs foundation itself, where they actually come up with the early stage innovation, which is a bit easier to incorporate for for our corporate itself, right? But later down the road, they want to do investments, they want to go to more later stage investments where they can continue to follow up some of these further initiatives that they've done in the past, as well as also to invest in other opportunities out there in the startup ecosystem. So Sunway actually looked in towards the later growth stage companies, more like pre-A to Series B. So these companies, they have some revenue, but they want further funding. So typically we do much larger ticket size in exchange so that we can look for potential commercialization, even expansion to other countries. So we collaborate with a few other LPs and GPs that are having exposure to these other countries. The benefits that they can get from the startups, right? Of course, the financial benefits. That's why we are also a CVC where we are here to be a fund manager. We're doing pure fund management as well as also to look to help give more value that go across just the group by itself, so that we can look towards other countries, other corporates as well that we are partnering with through our funds, through our connections, so that they can go regionally to expand, as well as to find different opportunities through the group as well. So this is a way that we can do follow-up commitment, or we can even go find some new interesting deals, so that we also can bring some information transfer to Sunway, so that we can learn about other industries that we are not in specifically as well.
So let's just say that I'm a startup, and then I'm just new to this space. I'm not too sure about what kind of funding organizations will be helpful for me. What makes a key difference between, let's just say, I should go to an actual venture capital firm or a corporate VC like Joash's case, or perhaps to Brendan?
I think it depends on what your goals actually are. So I'm going to be honest here, some accelerators can do what we do but better, because an accelerator is very much built on, part of it is actually built on the network itself. If you can get a very strong connection to the network, then go for it through an SOVC. But if you're looking for a place to validate your ideas, to see if you've actually got the right product market fit, see if actually people are willing to pay, then you might want to consider Corporate Accelerator, because then you have an easier time actually getting your product into the hands of a customer, where you can get direct feedback. Not saying you can't do that with an external accelerator, but it might be a bit of a longer process. Well, if you're looking for just money, if you're looking for just pure investment, then a VC that probably would make more sense. But if you're looking for more of the strategic partnership that link to a business, then a CVC would probably be the way to go.
Yeah, I guess just echoing a little bit on what Brendan has said as well. When it comes to CVC, also our process of due diligence, investment, typically is slightly longer than most of the other VCs in the market, private VCs. So, but in exchange, we offer that market validation, right? That's the one factor that some of the startups feel that that's invaluable for them, as well as maybe there are some synergies that the startup may have with the group already in the beginning. So this actually presents us a case of a strategic investment, right? Whether they have business with our group prior to this, or whether they are looking for investment and looking for the business as well as the collaboration with them through the group as well. So there are many different opportunities that CVCs can present itself that VCs may not have the same opportunities to. And of course, we leverage upon the resources of the group level where, okay, if you can even exit to the group level as well as a conglomerate, right? Let's say we want to acquire your technology in your startup, that can be also an exit strategy for some of the startups that are looking for investment with a CVC.
Okay. And then I assume that there's always some sets of criteria that you tend to look out for in, I think especially founders or founding teams. So that actually I believe have a lot of overlap with typical VC firm, like, okay, you want to make sure that the founder has the right background and the complementary skills with his or her team. How about the cases for accelerators or CVCs?
So I'll take the answer to the question first, because for an accelerator, it's a lot more important to us about the strength of the founding team. As a bit of context, with an accelerator, the difference to a later stage VC is you don't really have that much to go off on. You don't really have financial data to go off on. You don't really have the numbers, your traction to go off on. Usually, a lot of the founders we talk to are either new to the game or they've got a startup that's like a few months old, maybe a year old. So we have to look very much at the strength of the founder. And of course, years of experience is always a plus. Actual industry experience in the problem you're trying to solve is always a plus, because even if it's a big problem, are you the right person to solve it? Right? But more than that, is this a founder that we think is going to commit to the business, or are they sure that they are committing to the business? Is this someone who is agile enough to deal with any disruptions? Because let's face it, some stuff is going to go wrong.
Yeah. A lot of very human-centric kind of details, very hard to quantify, especially understandably it's a very early stage company at the end of the day. So how about you, Joash?
So I guess following on to Brendan's thoughts as well, in my opinion, when it comes to our due diligence, right, we do look at founders. It's very important to understand that the team is there and they have the passion to continue this business as well. But more importantly, we're doing more later stage, so we can look into more of the traction and also the product market fit in itself. So because we do see that as a startup scales, right, they want to accelerate their valuation to a high level, right? So most of us funds, we can look at a 4 or 5x sort of return. That's something that we look at for valuation. And to reach that sort of numbers and that sort of strength with scalability, we do need to see there's a big enough market for some of these startups, right? Their products and their services. And to ensure that the technology continues to become a very vital and very unique selling point that the business will continue to develop as well. So we also look into their path of profitability. These days we see a lot of startups, right? They are trying to scale, but they may not be as sustainable when it comes to finances. So we do see that we make sure the startups are sustainable in their finances and they understand how to get ready to become a profitable company going forward as well. So I guess another area we look into is of course exit strategy. We are at a stage where in Series A or B, some startups can exit pretty early, some we're doing Series C exits and stuff, right? So we want to understand who are going to be the buyers, potential acquirers for these sort of companies, or can they IPO, what are the opportunities out there for the market? Because we have to validate a lot of more of these things as a fund management division, because we have to prove the financials to our management board and things of that nature as well.
I think those are really informative points, and I actually have one final, a bit more personal question for the both of you, if that's okay. Also, please feel free to eat the salad because it's just sitting right there waiting to be eaten. And it's not me, yeah, you're right, man. Go for it, help yourself. I think at the end of the day, I also just want to understand what actually brings you to this field. I said it once and I will say it again confidently. You two are very smart people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Very few people say that about me, but thank you.
I know, I literally just called you a donkey at the start of it, right? Yeah. But yeah, in a different way, I'm just kidding. But seriously, it takes a certain degree of passion for you to like commit a lot of your time into such a field. But yeah, what keeps you staying?
I kind of stumbled into the sort of VC space a little bit by accident. When I first started the work and I realized that VC and CVCs are a lot more interactive, a lot more involving with a lot of the entrepreneurs. We get to meet a lot more people, right, in our jobs. Because for myself, I'm more passionate towards the field of investment. So not necessarily I look towards entrepreneur as something that I want to aspire to become, but seeing a lot of these entrepreneurs and talking to them personally and understanding from where backgrounds they come from, their experiences and their passion, it makes me also realize that there is a certain level of involvement that we analysts also have in this industry, where we have to come in and step in to act as bridges for them sometimes, right? Where they have a solution, but they're looking for the right clientele, they're looking for the right network to help them bring the idea to fruition. So in these areas, I started to become more passionate in helping a lot of the founders as well, where they just need that extra little push to reach to the right different people or the right market access. And these are the things that actually allow me to feel some satisfaction in my work. So this is some of the enjoyments I receive as an analyst for venture capital field. And I do encourage any one of you, if you guys are looking into venture capital as a potential first step, I believe it's pretty good for you to start building your network as well as start understanding the important parts of what makes a good founder, because these are the very important elements you need when it comes to further investment as well, even towards pre-IPO, even towards later stages, PE or investment banking as a whole. They have to look eventually to a lot of the elements that started during the birth of a company, and this is a very interesting journey that you will learn as you work in this field as well.
Yeah, very noble of you. Can you beat that, Brendan?
Probably not. But I mean, the reason I have stuck around, it's a bit surprising for some people, but for someone who's working in essentially the financial department, like a finance department, I've never been, have never been, probably will not be a fan of finance because, because I'm not really a fan of like money for the sake of money. It's probably one of the reasons why I didn't like to go into quant. But anyway, not really a fan of money for the sake of money. I'm very much focused on impact. The reason I've stuck around is because I do feel that in this job there is a chance to make an impact. Firstly, because you're allowed to take the deals that are less focused on returns, right? You don't have to drive for like 10 million within the first year. As long as it aligns with the group's strategic goals, you can take it. And sometimes those strategic goals can be quite novel. For example, with some way the big overarching goal is net zero. That's what we've focused on. So I find it very rewarding in that I am given the chance to make a difference to startups that are trying to solve big problems without being fully constrained by financials.
I think even this salad was made from a net zero environment, was it? I'm not too sure.
It was built, so the concept of the farm itself was, utilizing underutilized office space, but also solving food security issues. And food security is, as an analyst who has to look at numbers day in, day out, it gets quite depressing when you see how much that is to do, but food security is just one of those big issues. So this was one of the initiatives to tackle that.
Like fundamentally it contributes to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, right?
The rainbow circle.
Yeah, indeed. You know what? Thank you so much to the both of you to get time to make this video with me. Bear with me as I ask you all these questions or call you two donkeys, but of course
just
I'm
thinking that, right? You call me a donkey, then you call me a rabbit. What's next?
It just never ends. But with that, I hope that everyone over there on the other side of the screen actually found this conversation to be informative. If anything, would anyone like to do the honors of whatever YouTuber goes?
YouTuber goes, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Are you really that basic? Can you smash that subscribe button?
See that
Ding the notification bell. And what else? Follow me on, I don't know, LinkedIn? Instagram.
I'll plug them also if
available
you guys
LinkedIn.
want. They're available on LinkedIn if you're a startup who wants to find funding.
We'll
Okay.
search the second donkey. Maybe I'll change my Instagram tag to that.
Second donkey. Okay, but with that, thank you so much, and I hope you guys all have a nice day ahead, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye bye.
Do you want me to make?
Do the bunny ears then.
Inside